There are some things that we have to remember as babysitters when going to work with other families. We are not the parents. Hey sitters, welcome back to another video. It is Lydia, thanks for joining me. And in today's video, I want to go over a couple things that I think are very important to remember when going to work for a family or if you're babysitting for anybody. There are things that we as babysitters should not be doing and boundaries that are not supposed to be crossed for us as babysitters. And a lot of those things have to do with parents' beliefs and what they believe is good and right for their child and what they want their child to be doing or not be doing, or learning and not learning, or watching or not watching. And we have to respect those boundaries no matter what we believe in, no matter what we think. We have to respect those boundaries because those are not our kids. We are not those parents, and we're just there for entertainment. So let's dive into some specifics about what those look like and what things we should not be crossing boundaries over. So the big ones are race, religion, sexuality, and political views. These are things that I do not bring up. I do not talk about with the kids that I'm babysitting with. These are things that have nothing to do with me and my skills in babysitting and taking care of their children's safety. I do, however, have families that have kids that have asked me questions before, or I know what their family believes in, or how they want what they want their children to believe in as they grow up. So I've had questions before. I don't bring it up at all. And then I also try to steer away from those conversations if they ask. I work with a lot of families, and this is just how I look at it. All of my families have different views on all spectrums. So the religion spectrum, for example, I have families all over the place, right? How intensely they work with the religion or are involved in the religion versus what religion they believe in. So I try to stay very neutral, I guess is the right word, in everything and anything, in all of the conversations on those big topics. So if a kid asks, I usually say something along the lines of I'm not comfortable sharing, and I just try to stay clear of those conversations in general. Just because if I say I agree with one family and it gets out to a couple of my other families that are very strongly against what I believe in, I could potentially lose clients, and it's just not worth it. Again, I'm there as a babysitter. I'm there to entertain for 4 or 5 hours. I'm not there to talk politically with the kids or anything along those lines. Again, I'm not the parent. I'm not there to instill my beliefs on others, and I just like to really stay clear of those conversations. Another thing I like to stay clear from is exposing them to things that the parents don't want them to be exposed to. That's very obvious, but in some ways it can be accidental. A lot of my family, not a lot, some of my families don't like their young kids, like toddlers, infants, to be exposed to the noisy toys. They like to stay with the wooden blocks or the things that don't make noise. Now, as a babysitter, if I'm bringing my babysitting bag, it's very good for me to know, okay, no noisy toys. There's no reasons I should be bringing, and when I mean noisy, the ones that light up and play music and dance and sing, all that good stuff. So if I'm bringing my babysitting bag, I make sure to stay clear of those toys, and I make sure that that is noted on the family's profile, that they don't want to have their children exposed to that. Of course, it's always a question for me to ask the parents about what shows, what movies are the kids allowed to watch. Some of my families don't care at all. They can watch rated R, they can watch any movies. It does not matter. And then some of my families don't like movies. They're very specific on what movies they're allowed to watch, not allowed to watch, TV shows, stuff like that. Some of my families give me apps for them to watch. So Disney Plus is okay. Anything on Disney Plus is okay, but nothing on Kids Tube or Kids YouTube. Now, I try to stay clear of the TV as it is. I'm there to entertain. I'm there to be with the kids and play games with them, so it's not really a big issue for me, but I do still like to ask if that's something I have to resort to. And then games as well, board games, card games. Is there anything that the kids are not allowed to play with, or are not allowed to use. And that's just another question that I like to ask. With working with a lot of families, I come across a lot of different discipline styles, a lot of different parenting styles in general, and I have learned over the years I should not judge and will not judge families for doing what they are doing. My opinions stay to myself. I don't talk to anybody about how I feel parents are parenting, because I don't know their full situation. I can't judge completely. I'm only there for a snippet of their life, and I don't know what else is going on. So as a babysitter, I stick to what they are asking me to do. Obviously, I will never put my hands on a child, if that's usually the way they go about things. But I don't overstep boundaries either. If they're asking for me to redirect instead of putting them in timeout, I will never put them in timeout. If that's not how the family does it, I'm not going to do it, because it, again, is not my child, and they obviously have a discipline style that is working for them and their family, and I need to continue that when I walk into the house. So keeping track of who's parenting, it can be very difficult. Who's parenting how, who's disciplining how, and then sticking with that while you're there. And not judging a family on how they're parenting or how they're disciplining. Some families are still trying to figure out how to parent. Some families, they fluctuate. Sometimes they're parenting this way and they find that doesn't work, so they try this way. Sometimes I get asked if I can help figure out what they can do better, to help their child work on X or work on Z. But I will never give my opinion if it's not asked for. And then I will never feed foods to children that the family doesn't want fed to them. For example, I have a family that their first child was allergic to eggs and had a really bad, severe reaction. So their second one has never had eggs, and they don't ever want me to feed him eggs. They'd like to do it on their own time when they're ready. And I think they said that they were waiting to get in to get him tested to see if he is allergic. So things like that. There's religion aspects of food, that there's things that kids are not allowed to eat because of their religion. I respect that and make sure that I'm not feeding them foods that aren't meant for them. So not crossing boundaries that way as well. Again, I'm not the parent. I'm not the one to say, no, you need to eat all this or you have to eat that. I go by what the family wants and what they're asking, and I don't question it. I am huge on boundaries when it comes to working with families. I really think it's important that as babysitters we respect those boundaries, whatever they may be. Even if they may be silly to you, it may be like a big deal to the family, and just helping them understand that you'll respect those boundaries will definitely they'll have you back in their home again. Again, you are not the parent, so you should not be dictating how they should be disciplined, how they should be parented. None of those major topics should you be talking about or teaching, because you don't know how the parents want to teach that topic, nor when they want to teach that topic, if they're ready or not, if the kid's ready or not. You don't even know if they've had that conversation with them already. It's none of your business, to be very honest. You're a babysitter. You're there for a very small snippet of time, and you're there to entertain. You're there to keep them safe, happy, and healthy, and that's all. So boundaries are really important when working with multiple families, and understanding which boundaries are for which family. Keeping track of, oh yeah, they can't eat this because of this religion, or yeah, they can't watch that show because mom and dad don't want them exposed to that right now, or they're not supposed to be playing with those toys because they're too noisy and loud, and mom and dad are trying to do more of a natural approach with toys. So keep to those boundaries. Understand that you're not the parent. You're there to entertain. You're the babysitter. Have fun with it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.